Welcome back to another video. Let's get right into it.
I really wasn't going to film this. I was just going to do it, but I'll film it. So, probably not focusing very well. You can see right here and down to about right down here, I got a huge scratch on my bumper. Well, what I consider huge. The garage door came down on it, which sucks. So, I got some Alpine white touch-up paint, but it's not perfect. I mean, you can see that from a mile away. So, because I'm crazy, I'm gonna pull this whole entire thing off and repaint it myself. I think in my previous video I mentioned I paid like 250 bucks to have that painted. He did an alright job. It wasn't his, so he didn't do the job that I would have done. So I'm gonna attempt to repaint it, paint over that. I'll show you some of the things that I bought. So I got some plastic because I'm gonna try to make kind of a makeshift paint booth. Some sawhorses because I couldn't find like auto body sawhorses to hold the bumper once I remove it from the car. Got a half mask respirator with cartridges, some 600 grit, some 2K clear coat with a hardener, a pint of color match paint that I got at Napa. They had a little camera where they put it on my fender, so it should be pretty accurate. Some solver degreaser remover, some plastic adhesive promoter, some directions I had in print, block, which I have a few of those already, and then some tack cloth. So I think all this was like 220 bucks, 250 bucks. So about the same price as if I was to have him repaint that. But we're gonna repaint it. I'm gonna repaint it. Hopefully you're gonna watch. I would like to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Means a lot. Thank you for the views. I try to answer all the comments and help out the best possible. I'm not a professional by any means. This is just the stuff that I do. And if I learn a valuable lesson, I can pass it along to you guys. So thanks again for that. Let's jump right into this. So I already drove it up on top of the little wood blocks so I can get my jack underneath that. I'm gonna do all four corners on my jack stands because I'm not gonna fight it this time. I'm gonna pull both wheels off the front. I'm gonna pull both the wheel arches out, the wheel liners, because this is gonna be a process. It'll probably be over a few weeks that I do this. I did notice the other day as well, I have some wastegate rattle. So in the near future, I'm gonna do rear subframe bushings, all of them. Trans bushings, I'm thinking about doing motor mounts when I do the new turbos, obviously new turbos. I haven't quite picked the ones out that I'm gonna get. And then I'm gonna do all new bushings, ball joints in the front and just kind of tighten up the entire suspension. So I'm never gonna get rid of this car. I'll give my son this car, so it's not really a waste of money to me. If he wants to sell it or get rid of it later in his life, then so be it. For me, it's a fun project. It's not my daily. It's definitely just a straight fun car for me. So I'm gonna throw all the jack stands underneath it and go from there. I'm only gonna put the front on stands. That's all I really need. I loosened up the lug nuts before I raised it, but this will give me all the access to the front. Just make sure you chalk up the back tire and have the e-brake on. So this should be plenty of room for what I need to do. Gives me access to everything. Pretty simple. 4 T27 across the top. I added little washers to mine. I originally installed this. Make sure we save all those. My car with the aftermarket bumper has 8. I use 5/16 on my little drill here. We'll pop all those off, and then I'm gonna store all these in like a little Tupperware. So pull those off real quick, and I'll show you the next step. All right, I got all those off. We're gonna finish pulling the lug nuts off. We'll pull this wheel off. And you don't necessarily have to do this. I've done it both ways. So just I find it easier on this car. If you disassemble half of it, you can get to the other stuff a lot easier, so. Just like so. Just a few bolts inside here to take your wheel arches out. Get those real quick. Looks like I forgot to put one in right there, which will make it a little easier to put back together. So, but I have spares, so not to worry. All right, had to take a few extra bolts that held the bottom there together. So just like that, wheel arches are out. And the reason I do this is those bolts. Where am I gonna see them? Let's see if I can get you. I'll show you the bolts I'm talking about. Those two right there, pain in the ass. Just spending that little bit of extra time makes all the difference. So what I'm thinking, since I've had this bumper off so many flipping times, if I can find a quick release, the push button style for this, I might go for it, but I need to find the right one that fits for this. And if not, then I'll just stick to the method that I use now to take care of all that. So anyways, don't forget to pull your windshield washer cap covers off. I forgot last time. Anyways, I pulled my license plate cover off. It was just in the tow hook. Before you undo these bolts, you just pull it out. Just pull on it. It's got 2 ears on either side, and snap those off, and then let it go back in there. I deleted mine because I think it's silly, but anyways, that's in a different video. Those are the two little tabs I was talking about. Just pull on them on either side and it comes right off. All right, I just wanted to show this because this might be important to somebody. 2 8mm bolts right here. Hold the fender on. So once you have the wheel liner out, wheel arch out, pretty simple stuff. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I got 2 on either side, and then this bumper's ready to pull off. So about 45 minutes it took me. Once you have those out, it's pretty easy. It just literally separates away. Mine are a lot longer than factory, so I can lay it on the ground, which is nice. I added the LED bulbs on there. So I'm gonna unplug those, and then we'll probably disassemble everything off camera. All right, here it is. Sure if you can see it, you can see that. Whole reason I'm repainting this whole bumper. Disassembly took about 10 minutes, so super easy. I'm gonna start wet sanding this and prepping it. All right, before I put you on a time lapse, what I have is a cascade sparkling ice or whatever with drilled a hole in the top. I got a little Dawn dish soap and some water. I'm gonna use that as my lubricant to wet sand this thing out. I'll put you on a time lapse here in a second. All right, I'm not gonna prep this thing for 5 straight days, but I definitely want it to be smooth. Most of these areas that had like rock chips and stuff, I tried to level out the best I could, and then across the top here, pretty much everywhere, really. Anywhere that had like a run or anything along those lines, like right down here, it was pretty bad when I installed it. So I'm gonna pay extra attention when I'm sanding here, where I know the bad spots were, and then when I'm putting the paint. So anyways, I think I'm gonna mess with it for a little bit longer and let it fully dry, wax, grease remove, and then see if I need to sand anymore. But yeah, see down here, it's really bad with runs from him, and I don't want that to transfer over to my paint work. So, but these come out to like right here, so you can't see any of that anyways. So that's where the garage door hit it. It's got a little indent right there, but I don't want to put like that little bit of body filler in there, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. As long as it's one color, I'll be happy. Spent a long time prepping this up, and it's still not done. Light's fading, but yeah, just trying to get everything smooth. Get the rock chips. Prep is key. So that chip right there when I sent it to the shop, but a few spots, mess with it some tomorrow. It's flat now at least, and then definitely got what I paid for. Got a $250 job, because once I started leveling this out, I mean, you could really tell, you know, obviously he didn't wet sand it or anything after he painted it, but there wouldn't have been no clear coat left to polish it back out anyways. So anyways, this is where I'm at. Tedious. I didn't record too much of it because got some wax, grease, solvent remover. I just have it on just a white t-shirt. So like I said previously, I'm not a professional. I'm not pretending to be a professional. Do this at your own risk. Worst case scenario, I will use this first coat as somewhat of a primer coat if it doesn't lay down the way I want it to. When in doubt, use a lot. Sanded on it for 5-6 straight hours out in the yard. So let that flash off and go from there. Definitely not a direction guy, but we're reading the damn directions on this for sure. I think he said spray it on and let it dry. He's multi-talented. Tack it off. So there are no dirt and debris. Not flashed enough. We got good coverage. Very few shiny spots. Not where I'm worried about it anyways, the shiny spots. So other paintings where I actually followed a process. So hopefully the results speak for the process. Actually doing it right. But, I didn't film that first coat. Forgot I turned my camera off, but looks like it lays down pretty well. Kind of absorbs into the bumper, but I'm gonna put my mask on because this stuff smells amazing. All right. This is basically a dust mask, by the way. I forgot the right cartridges, but we'll make it work. If you can hear that. Let that flash over. Put on that the primer coat. Go from there. So far the color looks like it matches, so I'm happy about that.
All right, it's going down really good. I'm just, I'm taking my time. The color is amazing so far, so taking my time, putting really light coats. You got one little problem area I can see right here. I'm hoping that, I noticed it looked different, but I could wet sand that, but we'll see. I'll consider this maybe the primer layer, like I said, but so far so good. I put a coat on off camera, so I think this is going to be my 4th coat. Right now, that spot right there is going to be a problem. It's laying down great, so I'm just going to kind of keep going because I got a lot of other areas to cover, and then I can address that here shortly.
All right, so I had a few like little pieces of lint on it, so I went over it. It's flashed over. I went over it with my tack cloth, and I'm actually incredibly surprised how much stuff it pulled off. So now I got a perfect surface to put another layer of paint on, and I'm pretty sure it's laying down quite well, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than a can. So yeah,
Got about 6 light coats on it, and it shits better than he did, for sure. And he's got a professional whatever, so it didn't change the color visually that I seen. So I don't know, I'm positively optimistic, but you know, Napa paint match. That's a drip from him, by the way. Yeah, Napa paint match. I mean, so far so good. I still have to do the clear coat, and I'm gonna put, you know, a few coats on, a few more coats of paint. You can tell there's a little bit of a shine difference on one of the spots where the main incident happened. You know, you can see the ridge. So, but it did let me get away with dry sanding an area over there, so maybe I'm gonna dry sand that a little bit. But yeah, amazing results so far. I'm pretty stoked on it. I put 2 cans total on it. The paint is very forgiving. A few spots I kind of screwed up on, so I just dry sanded it once it flashed over with some 600 grit, and super forgiving. Covered it, no issues. The paint laid down on here perfectly. I got a little ahead of myself and I didn't put any body filler right there. Honestly, I don't really care. I probably should have in retrospect, but you ain't gonna see that anyways. Came out amazing. I'm super stoked, so I'm gonna let this sit all night and then clear it in the morning. Next day, I made my area a little bit bigger this time because I realized last night I was kind of tight on the one corner. I got the windshield washer covers taped down, put a layer of paint on those. It looks kind of gray in this lighting, but in the sunlight it's really white, and obviously this is a base coat. If you rattle can or whatever, a lot of the times you're going to have your clear mixed in, so it's going to look shiny right off the bat. This is kind of, it's got a sheen, but it's more dull, so I'll probably put a few more coats on it. It's kind of chillier out today, so I'm going to let it sit a little longer in between coats. The face areas and the lip area, I kind of want a bunch of paint on that and good layer of clear coat for rock chips, but this is where I'm at. I got the first couple coats of clear on, so I'll let this sit for probably about 20 minutes. It's a little bit orange peely, got a little bit of orange peel in it. I'm gonna let this lay over or flash out or whatever for a little while. I fully expect to have to wet sand because I'm no professional painter. So anyways, I'm gonna let this lay out, and hopefully it's a little colder today, like I said, so maybe it'll flatten out here. It's really hard to get the cracks and crevices and stuff like that, so I'm really trying to take my time. That one can of 2K doesn't seem like it lasts. It doesn't go that far. It doesn't go as far as the paint does, so I don't know. I might be running down to the Napa to get another can of that. So finish wise and run wise so far, knock on wood, it's better than what I had done previously. So I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit and then hit it again. Well, I ran out of clear coat, but you can see the orange peel, but you can see it lessens as I kind of got thicker. So I'm gonna definitely get some more. My neighbor, who's a paint and body guy, says this 2K clear has a 2-week window where I won't have to scuff it. I'll just be able to add it straight onto this. So I mean, all in all, I did a better job than the guy that I paid to do it, but you always do when it's yours, and I followed the accurate steps. So I'm gonna end this video right here, unless you guys are interested in seeing more of the process, how it glasses out once I add more clear coat and the orange peel lessens. It all comes down to the atomization. So if you have a professional sprayer, you're gonna get super fine droplets. It's gonna lay down a lot smoother. So I'm gonna put 4 or 5 more coats of clear coat on this, get it the best I can possibly get it. And then if you're interested, comment on there if you wanna see me wet sanding this out and polishing it. But thanks for watching my video. I hope you learned something. Hopefully it's not too much of me spraying and jabbering on or whatnot, but thanks again.